Hi, my name is Dovey Thomason, and I'm a storyteller. I was born on the north side of Chicago, growing up in Texas and the Southwest, and then Denver, Cleveland, and at last to the East Coast, where I now make my home in Pennsylvania. I'm Lakota, Apache, and Scott Traveler descent, but it was my Apache grandmother, my father's mother, who was the first storyteller I ever heard. She didn't call herself a storyteller, she was a grandma, and she told stories. Telling stories was simply something we did in my family. It was as common as breathing. Stories took place while you were doing chores. Stories took place while you were preparing a meal. Stories took place often while gardening, weeding, canning. Stories were a part of life. They were what people do. It was years before I learned that all of my friends didn't have grandmas like mine. She was doing more than entertaining us or passing the time. She was passing on memory, tradition, values, culture, all of those things that we didn't have access to living in Texas away from the reservation in Oklahoma. Now, Grandma would tell us stories to teach us how to think, how to make good choices, the way stories have always been used and continue to be used today. Say the first story I learned. I was a child who liked to talk. There were many children in my family, so my times with Grandma, I would chatter and chatter and chatter, wanting the uninterrupted attention. Well, she told me a story of a turtle who talked and talked and talked, and birds who decided to teach him a lesson by making him hold on to a stick, and they said they would teach him to fly. All he had to do was keep his mouth shut and hold on to that stick. At the end of that story, well, Turtle couldn't control himself. He opened his mouth, he fell, and that is why he has the cracked-looking, patched shell he has today. And so my grandmother taught me to listen, the importance of listening. If that hadn't been the first story I heard more times than I'd like to admit, I don't know if I would know the stories I know today. She was teaching me self-control, self-restraint, good decision making, and what is valued. A good listener, a good speaker, both are valued and both need each other. That's what she was teaching me. I've been thinking about it a lot in this time of plenty of time to think. And to have a listener, to be a speaker, to have a speaker and be the listener, it reminds us how much our lives are intertwined, how much we need each other, how important our relationships are, how they must be cared for. They must be cared for in a good way. We must have the stories that give us some idea of values that we can agree upon and share, that we can raise our children together with stories that are familiar, even when our stories come from all these different roots and backgrounds. And so I hope we always have stories. I'm thinking a lot about the stories that will come of this time that we're in. What are the stories we need now? What is it we need to be taught? What about our relationships can be improved by listening carefully to the stories of our elders? Thank you.